Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me. You can see I have the power transformer removed from the Zenith 707. I've already applied AC voltage through the variac and looked at current and wattage. I'll expand on that more in just a bit. But you can see in front of you I have the transformer turn ratio meter that I built a while back using Arduino to drive the circuit, along with a small little signal generator. The red leads are the primary side and the white leads are the secondary. We'll start here with the 2.5 volt winding off of the transformer, and you can see here on the display that the turns ratio is around 42 or 43 to 1. So we'll take note of that. Let's switch over here to the 5 volt winding that feeds the type 80 rectifier tube. Get that on here. Let that lock in, and you can see we're around 21 to 1 turns ratio. And lastly, let's hook up here and go to the across the high voltage windings. And I'm going across the entire winding here. And you can see the turns ratio locks in at about 5.78. So let's go to the spreadsheet now, and we'll compare the turns ratio back to the voltages, and we'll extrapolate the AC voltage of the transformer itself based on the turns ratio. Just doing some quick math. Here's the basic spreadsheet that I referenced. You can see I used my variac, set my input voltage for 120, measured the wattage at 4.2 watts, again no load. And if you look down at the bottom, I have a little note there as well. It's recommended that the measured wattage unloaded should always fall between 1 and 8 watts. So I think we're good there on the transformer. I also took time to check in between all the windings to make sure there was no resistance. In addition, all the windings to the bell housing or ground of the transformer, everything appeared to be open. You can see the measured voltages here that I actually measured 2.7 for the 2.5 volt winding, and you'll see them down through the high voltage winding of 673. Calculating the turns ratio just by using my input voltage and the measured voltage, you can see that in the next column over. If you look to the right, you'll see the measured turns ratio using the transformer turns ratio meter with Arduino that I built. You can see the turns ratio numbers are relatively close. And then we can back in to the numbers again using the 120 volts and calculate or extrapolate what the voltage would be. So you can see the calculated voltages in this area, and they're relatively close, the biggest variance there being on the high voltage winding. Everything, though, you can see falls around 3% error rate. So still good enough to use this method. Of course, it still is important to understand the transformer from a heat perspective, in addition to the unloaded wattage. But it is another method that could be applied, and it demonstrates the versatility there of the transformer turns ratio meter that I built. Appreciate you guys watching. More to come soon. Everyone out there, stay well. Take care.